Hey guys, Fearu here, and we are on episode number 28. Today we're going to be taking a look at warding. It's going to be a little more of an advanced guide than what I did previous, and one of the biggest problems with warding is so often a map will be black for like 5 minutes, and then someone will yell, hey, we have no wards, what's up with that? And the support will go and he'll buy 4 wards out and he'll just spread them out sporadically and rampantly. And there's no real thought process as to, okay, why did I put those wards there? And you need to, what I want to do is I want to fix that today, and I want us to start thinking about when we put wards down, why we put them there, what we should be looking for, and when we actually do it. So without further ado, I'm going to just jump straight into game and start taking a look at this. So here we are in my game, and I'll be playing engineer. I'll be dueling mid. But I'm not concerned with the lineups, the matchups, how people are playing. All I'm concerned about is wording and trying to get vision dominance in a sense. So the first thing I want to talk about is obtaining vision dominance. And what I mean by that is if you're able to get your ward up first without the enemy team seeing where you placed your ward, you're able to get a huge advantage because you're able to prevent them from getting vision in that same spot. And what I mean by this is, so for example, I like to run up and I like to place a ward here to see if the enemy team, if they block the pull, I like to see where they place it so I can instantly counter ward it. If the enemy team drops another ward of sight down a little bit delayed after I do, if they drop it here, I'll be able to see. If they drop it here, I'll be able to see. Being able to see that, I'm instantly able to counter ward them, and they don't really know where my ward is. It could have been here, it could have been here, so they're not really able to counter ward me, but I'm able to counter ward them, giving me, vision of this top river area, and it denies them. I know I can come now gank safely, knowing they don't have any vision, so that's why I like to get the ward down early. But something that's really important as I start this game, I'm going to step up and I'm going to see tree dogs here. So I'm going to step back because one of the biggest mistakes is if your enemy team sees you place a ward, it's easy for them to counter. Just like before where I was saying, oh, I'm going to get this ward down and I'm going to see if they ward there. Well, if someone's standing there, that provides them vision. They'll be able to counter me. That's not what I want. So I'm going to delay this a little bit because I know he's going up to pull the lane. He's playing Suicide Keeper. So I'm going to delay it, and I'm going to go ahead and wait, hang out, do my thing. And I'm going to place this ward just a little bit delayed. I want to make sure these tree dogs aren't here and have no vision. I see them there. I know I'm safe. I'm going to go ahead and place this ward down. I'm feeling relatively good. I think that ward got there safely. I see a ward on Myrmidon, and that's going to be my first target. I want to try to counter ward that. That's actually like one mini game in itself. Is when you're playing support. Is okay. Watch when they buy wards. Try to counter ward where they warded. And I constantly do this. Just we hit the beginning of the game. Look for the wards. Find them on the mini map. See who has them. There's 2. Typically, they're always bought out now. Let's try to counter ward them, and that'll give you a supreme advantage early on in the game. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit and show you how this develops. Okay, so here we are just at the 2-minute mark, and we're gonna see that Myrmidon is going to attempt to place the 2-minute ward. Relatively nothing to worry about. I see him go up, and I'm just looking to see where he places it. Does he place it here? Does he place it there? I see on the mini-map, I'm looking on the mini-map, and I saw him go. It definitely went there, without a doubt in my mind. I saw him pick up the invisibility. I'm just watching Tundra right now, because this is really, really important, especially early on. And this is one of the biggest mistakes all support players make, is, are they coming to kill me? Because 4 hits takes forever. That's how many it takes to kill a ward. I need to make sure that the enemy team isn't coming to kill me. So that's the other thing that I'm always watching when I'm warding or counter warding, because you're usually really far out of position. I mean, this isn't a common plate, because this is where I'm going to have to stand to kill this ward. This isn't where I would normally stand ever. If they saw me standing here, they'd be like, kill that guy, and they're going to see it because they have a ward. So I need to just be aware of that, and if they start to come early, I have to back out and come back and kind of play this little back and forth game. So I go ahead and I drop this counter ward, and I start auto attacking it. I don't see Myrmidon because he's invisible, but I see the Tundra step up, but he's too delayed. He's definitely not going to make it in time. I feel good. And now I know they have no vision top. I know they have absolutely no vision top whatsoever. I know there's another award on the map somewhere. Keeper might have dropped it early, but I don't see it at the pole, which means it's probably bottom somewhere, maybe bottom rune. It's going to go undiscovered. Now I'm going to show you how this game develops. I'm going to fast forward it a little bit more. Okay, so we're now at the about the 6-minute mark, and I'm about to go into one of the most dangerous positions there are on the map. We still have my ward top there, and as I make my way down here, I'm going to just counter ward bottom because I didn't have any wards bottom. We just had the one ward top, and we had the one ward at the pole. Um, but the reason this position is so dangerous is because to counterward this with no vision, basically I'm going to try to counterward this spot and this spot to make sure they don't have vision there. I need to stand about here on the cliff because I won't have a ward. That's where I need to stand to get vision, and that is the damn near like most out of position spot you can stand. So I have to keep my eyes basically peeled on that minimap, and the second anyone moves, I have to back out. Same thing, because if there's a ward there, they're going to instantly see me, and that'll kind of be a good indication. So I start making my way here. I don't see anyone move, which means there's probably no ward there, but I want to get down just to make sure that no one was delayed. I see nothing, which is awesome, which means I'm going to place a ward here, and I now have solid vision of bottom, and I have vision of top, and now I'm feeling good. I'm feeling really, really good. And I'll go ahead and push this game a little bit further and show you how it develops. Okay, so here we are back in game, and I wanted to look at Legion side again. They dropped a lane ward, which I like a lot, because, okay, so there's this thought process where if you're able to take over your short lane, you're able to freefarm your short lane, your jungle, and make sure you keep it stacked the entire time, you're able to keep your ancients, and you're able to maintain control of middle lane, that you'll, assuming you have the late game team, you'll win because you're just naturally bringing in more resources. Even if you let the opposing team free farm their short lane, their jungle, and their ancients, as long as they don't have control of their middle lane, you're getting that extra, average 300 gold or whatever it is a minute. And I think that's a pretty interesting thought process if you're willing to take it to late game. And this defensive ward really helps in maintaining that. This lane ward, I should say. I mean, it is a defensive ward as well, but being able to see people teleport in when they come, if they go into your jungle and cut, as long as that's the type of game you want to play. That's typically why you drop it, is to just protect that and say, okay, guys, we're bringing this to late game. That's gonna be our goal, and we're gonna use this to free farm, and that's typically why that's placed. So I just wanted to kind of note that word, and give you some thought process about that. Also, a side note about the middle lane, getting control of it mid game and maintaining it. If you look at professional teams, they're often, once they get control, once a creep wave passes their side of the river, respectively, whatever side it might be, it usually stays on that side of the river for a long time. If you look at any of SG's footage, you'll see that the creeps, if they're playing Legion, the creeps will start to come past the river, and they will stay on that side of the river for 10 minutes. And they'll be getting all the farm and maintaining the stacks in the jungle, giving them just a substantial gold lead throughout mid game, and then giving them a huge advantage into late game. And that's something worth really noting, opposed to what you would typically see, where people are just like, oh, I can flash farm this wave instantly, and they just push the wave right away. So it's something worth definitely noting. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and push this game forward again and see again how it develops. Okay, so here we are back on the Hellborn side. They counter-warded my bottom area, so I know that's not safe to drop wards. So I'm going to be looking to have another defensive ward, because we've lost quite a few team fights. Actually, if I go into spectator mode real fast, you can see play it. Yeah, you can see that they have quite an advantage, 5,000 gold lead. So we're playing from behind here a little bit, and we need to just get some we need to get some picks. But our team fight wasn't amazing, and we don't have the wards to get into their jungle. So right now I'm gonna just be focusing on making sure we don't get picked off. Um, Side note that they dropped a really interesting lane ward right in our middle lane. Um, it's somewhat interesting. It maintains vision as to, after people farm mid, will they roam bottom or top? And definitely, I mean, it definitely provides some good vision. I'm going to drop a ward myself to help establish some river knowledge, and I'm going to drop it right here. And it's just good to see, particularly if okay, they see Vision of Fate and they're like, oh, he's somewhat alone, because they can see pretty deep into here, I believe. Um, yeah, you can see pretty deep. You can see, okay, hey, he's kind of alone. So they might come to try to pick him off. Maybe Tundra's like, oh, maybe this is haste instead of an illusion. He's like, oh, I can come pick him off. But because we have that ward there and we're able to see him, we're able to, get back really early, and we're able to somewhat control that middle lane. Much better than we could otherwise. If this ward wasn't here, this would not be a safe spot. But now it is, because we have that vision from both sides even. Or sorry, the vision. We have vision here, and we have vision. I believe I still have this ward up. Yeah, the vision here. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead. I believe this type of vision. I believe this vision is actually maintained for quite some time, so I'm going to go ahead and push it quite a bit to see how it develops again. Okay, I'm going to swap over to the Legion side, and I want to show you this spot because I thought it was relatively interesting from the opposing team. We're going to catch a vision of him as he comes into our jungle, and he's not going to place the standard offensive ward here to look for ganks in the jungle. Instead, he's going to place it in a much more interesting spot. He's going to place it right here, and it gets. I think if you place it like here, it gets vision of both the medium camp and the small camp to look for ganks. But he makes. Actually, it's not actually that bad because he has Tundra here with him to kind of protect him. But I don't know if that's really enough. Knowing that you see the amount of people that are missing on our map, to come and try to place that ward. I think you really need more people to help establish that movement into our jungle. Because like I said, one of the biggest mistakes is if you're going to place a ward, you need to make sure that you have to be like 100% certain that the enemy team has no vision, or you need to go in with enough people that even if a team fight starts, you're going to be okay and they have to be scared of you. What's going to happen is we're gonna see this, and we're gonna be wondering if this is an illusion or not. And we just initiate, and we had vision, and this isn't a surprise that this is going to be quite a easy victory for the Hellborn, because these guys are so far out of position. Play not perfect by any means, but that's really a mistake that shouldn't happen. Because you remember what the gold was at. I mean, they're still ahead. XP's catching up, but I mean that's not a mistake that should ever happen. So just be aware of that when you go to place wards. I feel like it's said, but people just don't think about it over and over again. I'm gonna go ahead and push this game again and show you how it develops. I look for this ward because I felt like that's why it was in there. I placed another one down. I thought he might have placed it here. And I just did not find it at all. I thought that was a really interesting spot, though. It's something to definitely think about. We reaffirm vision here, but they have a counter word right on top of it, sadly. I'm going to go ahead and push this game a little bit further, develop it even more. Okay, so back in game, I wanted to show you guys another ward spot that when you don't think this river is safe to place a ward, a good alternative is right here. It definitely provides lack of vision comparatively to these two spots, but when both towers are down here, the tier 1s for Hellborn and Legion respectively, and you don't know if they have counter wards here or not. This can be a safe alternative to just provide a little extra vision to try to make this camp a little bit safer, to give you enough time to get away. If you see them here instead of seeing them when they're here, if they were to come up and attack us. So I'm just stacking and placing that ward there. I just want to take note of that, and then just maintaining control of middle with these wards still simultaneously, trying to get control of at least half the resources. I'm going to go ahead and push this game a little bit farther. Okay, I wanted to sit in spectator because there's just two words I want to talk about. We had another team fight mid, and I want to talk about, actually being able to place wards after a team fight, because that's what's going to start to happen. So if you want to know when you're totally safe to start pushing your wards out after keeping defensive wards for so long, because that's sort of what happened in this game. Was our team was behind. We're actually still technically behind a little bit here still. We have a little bit of a gold loss, although we are ahead in levels, which is nice. After a team fight, that's when you get to go and you get to place deeper wards. And we won a team fight, I believe it was roughly like mid-bottom, and we went to go reestablish vision of the bottom river with a rev and ward of sight. That's usually a great time to go do it, and I just kind of want to take note of that. The other thing I want to take note of is this ward. The Legion came back and rewarded top in this spot. And I like what he's doing in the sense of he's not putting wards in those common spots in case we do have vision of the top river protecting our jungle, because that is really common, and typically that's a spot where I would have a ward. The reason I don't like this ward is while the vision it provides, it doesn't really interest me, because it provides this long lane of vision, which is great if you are trying to get anything protected top lane, but because you don't have a tower and the opposing team doesn't have a tower, if someone's farming right here, it's a good ward because you want to see if someone's coming down the river. You want to see all this spot, but because no one's going to farm right here, there's no. I don't feel like that vision is that useful. Instead, I would like to see maybe a ward here, reestablish the ward here. That's never been countered. That's totally safe. I think either of those spots would be much better. As you can see, we even had the rev down to check the spots here and here. But that's just why I don't like that one. I think here or here, respectively, are much better spots. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and push this game even further. We're almost there. We're almost home free. Okay, guys, I'm going to show this from spectator side. Actually, no, I'm going to show from Legion side. More interesting. Legion has finally decided to group up, and they feel like it's time to get aggressive and start. I think they. I'm not actually sure what they said in game, so I shouldn't put words in their mouth. Although, what I think they should personally try to do is just take away farm from the Hellborn. I think they should have grouped up and, while they had the advantage, just taken the Legion jungle as 5, warded it, and just slowly taken the top tower and the middle tower. But anyway, that's what they're finally headed to do. Their vision that they currently have is this bottom or this top ward that provides kind of a long lane vision, and then this defensive ward. I wish at this point one of the supports had wards on them, knowing that they definitely talked about this in the sense that they knew they were going to head into the jungle. I wish they had brought some wards with them to at least counter ward. Knowing that you're preventing vision. I mean, we saw the ping, so they definitely talked about it, that they're going to go break into this jungle, but they're kind of blindly looking here, and knowing that we're all not on the map, they could be easily stepping into a trap. So I don't know if I like this play completely. I wish they had some way to deny some vision. Anyway, we're going to see the way that this develops. They see Engineer and Lodestone, and they are going to just instantly look to go. While I did have vision, clearly I didn't move fast enough, and I believe, yeah, Tree's gonna PK, start the fight up. I'm still gonna get my ult down. Oats is gonna go in, big ult off, and just so many of the Hellborn are gonna fall. Lodestone's gone, Engineer's gone, Riftwalker's gonna try to come help, but he's gone now too, and the Hellborn's pretty much decimated. The Legion side is going to take mid tower right now. But this would just be so helpful. I need to make sure they didn't... Like, how many... Oh, can I not see it? Yeah, they had one word available, I guess. Did they have any on the courier? They only had one available? Really? Huh. I wish they had at least counter-worded. Just to make sure they had lack of vision. Because this right here, after you take 4 people out, this is where you drop wards wherever you want, and the opposing team can't do anything about it. This is where you can drop this ward and be super safe about it. And know, there's no way that you die going to do it. So they're going to end up taking this tower pretty safely. And then they pull back, and this is where they make a pretty big mistake. They're going to instantly Kong, and they're doing it with great reaction time in the sense that they all came in here instantly. Like they all said we're doing Kong. The issue, I guess, if they're trying to kill it faster than we respawn, it's okay. I just hate that they don't have any vision. They have no way to tell if we're coming. They have no idea when they should back or if they're okay. Because technically we're all up in 4 seconds, and you're not killing Kong in 4 seconds. Maybe they thought they could kill Kong faster than we could get there. Maybe that was their thought process. But if it wasn't, if they thought... if you recognize that it was going to take this long, you need to have some vision, even if it's a ward here. Because middle lane's pushed in, you feel somewhat safe. But I just wanted to watch this and see how it develops. You see artillery mid, so you're feeling remotely safe right now, and you definitely see them coming now. So you have some remote vision, and I guess they're just trying to do the right. No, they back out. Huh. And now you have a half health Kong, with lack of vision. And what's going to end up happening is my team is going to be like, did they really do Kong? And we go in and we see Kong at like 25% health, and we're going to get a free Kong now. We know the whole enemy team isn't there. I'm going to use this time, because we just saw them port, to drop these defensive wards to see them coming in time. We know Keeper Ult's still down, and we're going to get a free Kong. That was a pretty big mistake on their part. And I believe it's going to be what finally... Actually, I don't know. Well, they did win the team fight. Yeah, this game's actually pretty interesting because they still have that 5k gold advantage. But because, I was able... We saw them all port, I was able to get a little bit deeper vision, which is awesome. And then I'll show you guys how this game develops even more. Okay, so let me kind of break down what just happened. So we got the token, we farmed for a little bit, quite boring. We pushed bottom and they gave it to us uncontested. And then we pushed the mid tier 1 tower. At that point I dropped a ward here for vision. Sometimes I'll drop this at night. If you push like a late tier 1 tower and it's after the 8-minute mark, it's in between that 7:30 and 15-minute, that's when it's nighttime. I'll drop the ward here to get some vision down this lane and also see people fleeing. It can also be used inversely defensively for Legion to get some vision of the Hellborn if you're going to have a delayed fight at the tier 1 tower. This was the definition of super delayed, because you can see it's like was the 40-minute mark or something when we did this fight. But we won substantially at mid and killed a few. So we were able to be in their jungle, and I used that time to drop this ward, which is quite an offensive ward. It's not caught by all the average rev wards. And my favorite part is it gives vision of that small camp, and that's most often, if you're able to get vision of that small camp for either Hellborn or Legion, you're usually able to get picks off of usually weaker heroes. Usually the supports are farming it, and if you have any hero that has any mobility or potential gank potential, you can usually find something with that. And I believe we see the gank available on Tundra, and Fade spots the parasite. Even if Fade wasn't there, we would have had the ward there to see it. So it's awesome. And they throw a pause because I believe someone DCs, which is like this is the worst pause of all time. Only because we're able to substantially think about what we wanted to do. We knew Tundra, so we were able to pause and talk about this for a couple minutes to discuss what we wanted to do. We knew Tundra was on his way, and we were discussing. We knew we had someone had a PK. Lodestone had PK. No, yes. I can't click Lodestone because I'm bad. Okay, Lodestone had PK available, and he said he could PK to about here. I told him to PK and plan a rocket drill, and I said I was going to throw my keg at max range, make sure he goes back, and I can easily time it. Like forever to set it up. And sadly, the other team is going to try to save him. But there's just no way when you're able to think about a moment like this for a minute straight. It's hard to mess up. You have to play like a professional for like 5 seconds because you're able to like slow down time, right? Um, anyway, so let's speed this up. Waiting for it to happen. Actually, I'm just gonna skip it. Maybe. Okay, I'll go back because it's interesting. The stun comes. He's instantly dead. They try to initiate. My ult's gonna go down, and this is just the worst initiation for them ever. Lodestone ult's gonna go off, and that's pretty much gonna be game. Bushwhack's gonna try to get Myrmidon's in off position. Bushwhack try to get away. He's gonna be safe, but it's just gonna be Bushwhack for 30 seconds. And I believe we take this tower and maybe we take 2 racks. Maybe we take. No, I'm interested. I believe we take middle and top, but they keep trying to play. But with both racks down, with both racks down here, it's pretty much over. And that's pretty much going to be my warding guide. I hope you guys all enjoyed it and you were able to learn something. And I will catch you guys next time. Enjoy yourselves.